Hello, Emanuel Shahaf.
Hello, hello.
Identity. What do you think about what is going to be happening regarding the war in Gaza? What is the end solution?
I don't think there will be a clear end solution. Definitely not the total victory that the Prime Minister is aiming for. It'll peter out. It'll slowly it'll slow down, and at some stage, either on our own volition or under American pressure, we will declare victory, and we will say that we destroyed enough of Hamas to make it credible that Hamas has been destroyed.
Yet not total destruction.
No, we won't speak about that, but we'll just say it's been mostly destroyed, regardless what the situation is on the ground, and we'll just have to deal with what happens.
So basically, you think that the basic infrastructure of Hamas, ISIS in Gaza wouldn't be completely destroyed?
No, it won't be. It's almost impossible to do that within the limited time that we have available, and they are much too well dug in and so difficult to get hold. So I don't think it's going to happen.
As a former senior in the Israeli Mossad, were you surprised by their abilities of Hamas during the war, because they are still fighting after so much weeks?
I think I was surprised mostly by the amount of underground installations they had. I think everybody was surprised. We as a public, we were not as well informed as the army, but it appears that the army also didn't know about it, and that of course makes it much more difficult to deal with them because the fight is in 3 dimensions, not only in 2 dimensions, which is what we're used to. And we can see that it's much more difficult to deal with them underground.
Like the underground is bigger and larger on the scale of Mind the Gap in London.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder what else are they hiding? Okay, if they're able to hide such a lot of such a lot of building and such a lot of construction, it's hidden in plain sight. Then you wonder what else they have in store for us, and it's worrisome.
Do you think that the people that were kidnapped are going to be sent alive to Israel within the coming weeks?
I think the way things are running now, this is very unlikely, sadly enough. I think the way the government is handling it, the government is not interested in resolving this the hostage issue on short notice. It's not willing to give in to some of the demands of Hamas, and you can hear from the terminology the government uses that there's no real interest, because if they start threatening that thousands of Palestinian prisoners will be released. This is it's not going to happen that way.
Because they're saying basically the rhetoric is saying that the main core issue of the deal, which is unleashing thousands and thousands of prisoners, it's obvious when they're saying it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen that way. First of all, there's only they refer to the prisoners as murderers. Okay, thousands and thousands of murderers. There's only 550 people, 550 prisoners who have life sentences in Israeli prisons, and another 130 of the Nukba personnel who participated in the attack on the 7th of October.
Would you release the Nukba's terrorists in order to gain back kidnapped people?
We have to release whoever we have to release in order to get our kidnapped people back, if we want them back alive. It's as simple as that.
Don't you think that when Smotrich and Ben Gvir are saying in the Israeli government, in the Israeli cabinet, when the Israeli nation is going down to her knees, it's going to be happening again and again and again?
The Israeli nation isn't going down to her knees. That's demagoguery, so to speak. Okay, it's just not the right picture. the fear that there's going to be added attacks from those we are going to release is well based, but it means only it should encourage us to change the context, okay? Because the only reason they will return, if they will return to terror activity, is if the situation hasn't changed. So,
what kind of change, what kind of solution would you visualize?
Well, a clear path to a completely different situation with the Palestinians.
Okay. The Biden administration is offering the new two-state solution, an agreement between Israel and the Jewish people and the Islam. Would you say that?
Well, something along that line. I don't think the two-state solution is a good approach. Okay, and I think most Israelis nowadays will not support the two-state solution. Definitely not after 7th of October. And I think also the Biden administration should be aware of that. Strangely enough, nobody's talking about alternatives. Okay, but within the framework of Biden's attempt to get some negotiations going, it's possible to talk about a lot of things. It doesn't have to be only the two-state solution.
And the one-state solution, the federation, do you think it's something that people here in Israel, in Gaza, in other places are going to be embracing?
I don't think they're going to be embracing it, but I think they will be willing to talk about it. Just by virtue of the fact that it's an alternative to the two-state solution, and the two-state solution they definitely don't want. So they'll be open to hear something else, and the federation is something else.
The first step of the something else of the federation movement, which is part of a plan and maps and books that you wrote and published, what is the next step?
The first step is for the Biden administration or European countries to actually talk about an alternatives to the two-state solution, and then talk about the federation as part of it. That's going to be the first step. The moment it'll be credibly presented to the public by an actor of consequence, okay, either the Biden administration or the European Union or the United Nations, it'll be possible to discuss it in detail and to get people acquainted to what we're talking about.
Do you think it's something that can be felt in the coming election, in the coming year, or it's something which is a seed for the next, I don't know, 30 or 40 or 50 years?
It could conceivably become part of the next elections. If one of the parties will mention it, it doesn't have to propose it as a solution that they adopt, but they can say simply, if we don't go to the two-state solution, then we can look at the federation, and the public should decide. That could be on a party platform, okay? But I think it's feasible. I think we're at the stage where bigger changes are in the offing. But we have to wait and see.
You're talking about the public, and the public stage was in Mishor, in Ma'ale Adumim. What exactly happened there?
Something that could have happened earlier. 2,000 Palestinian workers got tired of waiting in line to be processed to enter at the security passage to the industrial area in Mishor Adumim, and they just rushed the checkpoints. Unfortunately, the security people there did not shoot them and didn't use any violence against them, so they just went in and went to work. Okay, now it was a lot of effort was spent to try to avoid publication of this event, and it's very difficult to find out from what has been published that what exactly happened. But that's what happened. 2,000 workers rushed to security checkpoint, and
because they were eager to work.
They were eager to work. Yeah, no thoughts of violence in their mind. They just wanted to get to work in time, and the security processing wasn't fast enough. So this is definitely a possibility for other locations also. Right now, Palestinians cannot work inside Israel, despite the fact that they are in dear need of of food and to earn money.
Not only from Gaza.
No, from all over the West Bank. They can't work in Israel, despite the fact that earlier almost 200,000 did work in Israel, and all that money is missing from the Palestinian economy and is causing a lot of trouble. So we may see what happened in Ma'ale Adumim at other locations, and this is something we will not be able to deal with when the Palestinians come in masses to rush checkpoints. There won't be a possibility to shoot them all.
And the extremist settlers, on the other hand, are suffering, according to their perspective, from the Biden administration's sanctions.
Yes.
Do you think it's something that is applicable for many Israeli Jewish settlers, or only just symbolizing a few?
Well, it's a sign. It's just it's a warning shot. Okay, and actually, I think it's more of a warning shot to the government of Israel than to the settlers.
Why?
Because it tells the government of Israel, if you don't do anything about the settlers, we're going to do something, and that's not going to be pleasant. Okay, because obviously, those sanctions have repercussions to the banking system and requires the banks to cooperate, and this is not something that is popular in Israel. And will reflect on the government as well.
Towards the end of this interview, as always, in the monthly report, an upside. The upside this time, the good news maybe, your birthday. You're celebrating 70 years, which seems to be like 20. What would you wish for yourself, for your journey?
First of all, health, of course, that's always important. And then continue working hard on implementing the federation. That's my goal, and it keeps me young.
Exactly. People that want to be part of the journey, how can they reach you? On
Facebook, on Emanuel Shahaf, or Identity: The Quest for Israel's Future, or the Federation Movement.
Emanuel Shahaf, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.